Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Mighty Quest for Epic Loot. That'll be the game we're going to do Let's Try Out for today, and today I'm going to show you my own castle, so the idea of base defense, and I'm going to show you a castle made by the AI. Well, not the AI, by the developers of the game, because I want to show you the positive of the game today, and I'll show you my grief with the game tomorrow, because I think this is what you would call a good idea with some major flaws that need patching. So anyway, this is Castle Defense. It's not validated because I haven't actually ran my own castle since I last adjusted it, which I think is an excellent feature, by the way. In this game, before anyone else can raid your castle, you have to be able to beat it yourself to prove that it can be done. So I've got it set up like this currently. I've got two side rooms near the beginning, where I've hid my gold and my life mines, which are the supplies used to upgrade your castle. And they accumulate gold automatically, just over time, whether you're in-game or not. So let's go ahead, take my money. Alright, very good, very good. So on the left side, I've got myself here some Cyclops, some Zeki archers. They are a pain in the ass, which is why I put them there with the low trap area. And there's a trap there, but you might get to see that when I run it. And on the right side, I've got some Cyclopses with some Smelly Warriors, a couple more traps to try and protect the other mine. At least, that's the theory behind it anyway. Now, up here I've got my boss finale. I'm choosing to use the dragon for my boss, because I like him, I think he's fun. I got some archers to back him up, some witch doctors which summon undead, and I have them set to heal wounded creatures, as well as some little easy-to-kill dogs, and when they die, everything else fights harder. That's the particular setup I'm using, and of course some traps as well. Now again, my castle is not nearly as good as it could be if I only cared about getting as many kills as I could, because what I could do, and I'll go more into this on the gripe video, is I could just put every single enemy and every single thing in this one boss room, and just neck to neck, wall to wall, nothing but enemies, and it would be very, very difficult to get through. The problem is, I don't find that very fun, you know, that's just running an empty hallway, checking the two empty rooms, going to the top, and then a huge fight. It's not that fun to me. So I actually tried to make a real dungeon with my 5 rooms, even though I don't have that many yet, because you get more rooms as you level up, and I'm only level 12. Anyway, my castle needs validation before I can actually use it. So let's get to it, shall we? We're going to run my own castle to make it legal. Now 308 was the time it took me to beat my castle last time. Let's see how quickly I can beat it today. Probably slower, given that I find that I play slower when I'm talking. So first I'm going to cut left to this room, where I've got a little trap right here that does that. Now I know about it, so I could have tried to avoid it, and if I had, I would not have procced... Oops. I would have not have procced every enemy in there. And that's kind of annoying that it does that. When I hold down the shift key, for some reason it's popping that up every now and then. Only when I'm recording though, not sure why. Careful for those Zekis, they're pretty tough. And I can't actually hurt the Zekis because that Cyclops is giving them immunity to damage. Or rather the Robotron was. Now if that's done, go ahead and take care of these guys. One down. Right then, sorry for the little hiccup there, I had a sudden phone call, but it's done now. So let's get back to work, shall we? Now one thing to keep in mind when building your castle is that traps like the ones I just put on here will activate on your own minions. You gotta be careful of that. Because, you know, that can be used to your disadvantage quite strongly in fact. I'm trying not to set off the last one till I kill the other, just for safety. It looks like I succeeded. Now let's fight him. So some bear traps down in case he tries to get too close to me, which he normally doesn't, but you never know. Alright, with those guys out of the way, I can safely loot the gold mine. If this was an enemy dungeon, then I would be getting gold and life force from breaking their mines. But it's my own, and I'm just breaking them to validate them. Yeah, that's the problem. You can't really run over those. You really gotta use a special ability to get past them, or you're gonna be stuck in the loop until you can knock it off and then get past it before it recharges. Now let's go the other way, shall we? This side's a little easier, but I didn't want to do the exact same loadout on both sides. I thought that would be kind of boring. So I got a few traps here to try and throw you into those guys. And then I've got some smelly skeletons, which have a neat little ability, as well as another Cyclops. Their special ability is that, well, they are immune to damage if I'm not close enough to them. The Cyclops is set to stun enemies with a ground pound attack, which is starting to annoy me. Go ahead and pop a potion.
Good potion.
Leap past the traps, and after that all I gotta do is get to the gold mines. So break these two real quick. You can shoot through traps, no problem. And now it's on to the boss room. As I get higher levels and such, I would have more rooms and more space to play with to add more enemies. But for now, that's all I can really squeeze in here with what I've got going on. And I do like the concept behind my setup, even if it isn't finished. Go ahead, pick off the doggies first. Oops, pick off the dogs first, and the little guys. Then I'll deal with the boss, which is Mr. Firefly here. The way I like to fight him is to keep falling back. I can give him a quick stun with that, another quick stun with the snare, and then I'll roll away from him once the damage gets a little too much for me. Almost got him. And he's down. There we go. With that out of the way, now I can safely push forward into the boss room proper and deal with the rest of my archers. Annoying little bastards. I use archers because they're a pain in the ass. I'll admit that. Now the thing is, this other classes like the warrior might run in, and then they would have had to fight the necromancer healer as well. And that would have been a pain in the ass. But since I know my own castle, I know how to avoid that trap. I'll try and make it harder to avoid with time once I got more options to play with. But for now, that's kind of how it works. There we go. Once the summoners are dead, then all I can do is pick off the remaining skeletons. Looks like I got them all, and we're done. That is what my dungeon looks like. Definitely needs work, but I'm trying to find a way... Trying to find a way to make it challenging without it being just cheese everything in the last room.
You've just been black-eyed.
Now let's say I didn't like what I did there and I wanted to change it. I would do that from this menu, though now it is validated, so if I change anything I'll have to run it again. Changing it would be simple. I could do things like use the summoning portal here to put in more monsters, although since I have maximum castle defense range I can have for my level, I'd have to remove some first, but I could add something different monsters or these various traps into it. I'm thinking I actually want to put in some ballistic cannons eventually, because even though I think the rotating cannons are more interesting, these things seem to do more damage. Even though it says they should do more damage, I swear these things do a lot more, like as far as how much you get hit by them, they're harder to avoid. But we'll worry about that later. For now, I'm going to attack a developer-made dungeon, because they are balanced and fun and whatnot, in my opinion, as opposed to what you're going to see in the next video I make, which will be a player-made dungeon. Let's do... The one with the little flag here means developer-made. Oh, Jimbo's Lair is not that exciting. Let's do Fatal Fantasy. This one's pretty fun. I've done it before. I've done all the developer dungeons on this particular tier.
What's yours will soon...
And now I'll talk more about my abilities. First I have Snare, which stuns enemies and knocks them down for a moment. It's a control ability, it helps me keep track of the situation. Then I've got, on button 3, my Hawk that can go out and it'll hit multiple enemies at once. And it gives them a debuff when it goes through them. I believe it's for like 4 or 5 seconds they take more damage or something like that. Finally, I've got Headshot, which is just high damage to one target. And I've got... What the hell was that thing called? Spiral Shot, okay. That's an escape ability that knocks down enemies. And of course I have just a normal attack by just pulling the trigger, and that, you know how that works, it's an attack with a bow. Fatal Fantasy is a fun little dungeon. It's all about skeletons and undead. Seems we got a witch doctor in here, so let's rush over to him, drop him before he spawns any more dead bodies a second time.
That'll do the trick.
Now, Smelly Warrior, since they're one of the tougher enemies, it's good to use my power single attack on them first. And that particular Smelly Warrior is an example of poor trap placement. You see how he was almost dead before I even found him? That's because those traps will hurt your own minions. So I like to pull people through their own traps when I can. It's pretty effective normally. Oh, and that shield effect going on around me is something on my gear. I have an ability where the more enemies that I'm touching or nearby me, the more defended I am. And man, I'm getting my butt kicked today. I swear I do better when I'm not trying to talk to people live. Maybe I should just stick to post-comment all my videos. Jeez. Anyway, take care of Shambhalina 6. There we go. Oh, health orb. Good. Now I get some HP back. Drop that Bone Warrior real quick so it's out of the way. And now we got a whole bunch of smellies. That's fine. I can take a group of smellies. Remember, when you're the archer class, you don't want to be too close for too long, so always try and push back when you can. Oh, well I found the exit, but I'm not done exploring it yet, so let's go ahead, pick up these guys, and we'll come back to this in a little bit. But now let's just take care of the trash mobs and move on. See, yes, while I'll admit that the developer dungeons are easier, I think they're more fun because they've actually got variety to them, you know? There's... Each room is its own encounter, like a proper Diablo-esque game would be. I enjoy that more, but like I said, we'll get more into my gripes tomorrow. I do like that pushback attack because it does do some damage, so on a lot of trash mobs it can either kill or severely wound them. Oh, we got another Necromancer it seems, but that's alright, we can take care of his little summons easy enough. See what I mean? Get my loot, and check this one last corner and we'll be all set. So we got some more traps over here. Any monsters? Yes. Wait for it. And vault. Well, not vault. Ooh, hey. That was a purple. I don't think I've seen a purple yet. I'll have to look at that when we're done. Like, I mean, at all. I've seen legendary, which I assume is better than epic. Because purple normally means epic in these games, but I don't think I've seen a purple yet, so I don't know, maybe they switched the color around. Let's find out after the dungeon, shall we? And with that, we are done.
No.
When you finish a dungeon without dying, you get a loot reward. The amount you get
For the contribution.
is kind of small in these developer dungeons, but in a player dungeon, you would get a whole lot based on how much they have.
To be you.
Then you rate the dungeon on how you felt about it. I thought this one was pretty fun. I'll give it 5 thumbs up. And we're done. So now let's look at our loot we earned today. Oops. Select the button twice. And see if we got any good upgrades. This is something I'm just saving till I'm level 13, which will be pretty soon. Then I can equip this. These, not too impressed. Not too impressed. Nah, don't like it. Don't like it.
To make room for more.
Yeah, let's... Wow. Okay, apparently... I have, you know, oh, that's exceptional, not legendary. I thought I had something that was legendary. I do. Okay, so apparently legendary, I have this black, reddish, rather, tint around it. It's got good stats, but looking at this, I'm not sure. It looks like epic is actually a tier above legendary in terms of value, but that could be level 2. I don't know. But yeah, this is a good find. Physical armor, magic armor, crit chance. Wow, whole bunch of poison damage on my shot now. Yeah, I'm definitely going to put this on. Over my old ring, which... Wait, no, I said put it on. There we go.
Fine implement.
Yeah, definitely better than my other option, although... Hey. Bah. Gotta do it the hard way, it seems. There. Now. See, now that I switch them, it always compares it to the top wing and the wing slot, so I'm looking to see which one I like better. I lose a little damage, but I get a lot of armor on this one. So I think I will actually give up a little bit of damage to be better at survivability. So I don't need this anymore. Go ahead and sell it. And yeah, that is a basic concept of what this game looks like. I'll make one more video for it where I'm going to demonstrate player dungeons. But that'll be all I'll probably do for this game because, well, I've got some gripes that I'm probably not going to play much longer unless they patch them out. And we'll go over those next time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I think it's definitely worth giving it a look and making your own judgment. But we'll get more into it next time, like I said. For now, I'm Nosgard Silverclaw. Have a good one, everybody.